Hi guys, today we're going to head up to Sugarloaf Mountain. Supposedly this area has some of the best views in Big Bear. We're going to find out if it does or not. And along the way, we're going to show you how this road gains altitude very quickly, and it's a little deceiving. And it also is a little shelfy on the way up, so we're going to show you how we, or I at Get Rolling, deal with a shelfy road. And we're going to end up at the top at Wild Horse Meadows, and I'm going to share a cool story for when I first moved up to Big Bear with all of you. Let's get rolling.
Ride till I die.
Say that to the non-stop when the beat drop.
Houston? Houston, do you have a copy, Houston? Hello? Houston? We have a problem.
Oh yeah, bro.
Oh, I see the problem, Houston. There's a giant cliff down there. Hi guys, at the beginning of this video, you remember me saying something about the road up here being a little cliffy, a little rocky and all that stuff, and I told you how we at Get Rolling here tackle those type of roads. What I like to do is, if I'm driving up the hill like you saw the roads here, the cliff is on the driver's side. So what I'll do is I'll break the hood of my vehicle in half. So I've got the center of my vehicle and I look to the right side. So if the center of my hood to the right side of my vehicle, I kind of focus on that part of the road, and that way you're not focused on the cliffside, because if you're staring at a cliff, if human nature is to tend to kind of drift or steer towards the way you're looking. So if you're looking at a rock that you're going to try to drive around that's on the edge of a road, you're going to kind of go to that a little bit. Not like you're going to go off the cliff, but you're going to get a little closer, and you might make some of your passengers unhappy, maybe a smack in the back of the head. Yeah, I've had too many of those. So this is what I do. All right, guys, get rolling.
Una mano arriba todos.
as you folks can see from behind me, that Sugarloaf Mountain does have some great views. Go ahead and have a look. Now, it's debatable, depending on who you talk to. Does Sugarloaf Mountain have the best views? I don't know. Looking at this stuff, I'd say it has some of Big Bear's finest views up here. All right, guys, we're going to keep rolling. Here we are at Wild Horse Meadows. We're just gonna make something real easy to eat today. Just like a little picnic thing, and just kind of relax and maybe do a little bit more filming and enjoying ourselves for a little bit. It's a little breezy up here today, but sure it's beautiful out today, that's for sure. So the one thing you do have to, at least for me, I gotta remember, if I'm using like way too much of this stuff, that'll freaking set my rear end on fire. So I gotta be careful about that kind of stuff. But alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish making my sandwich here, and we'll get back to you shortly. Alright guys, here we're at Wild Horse Meadow, and at the beginning of this video I told you I was going to tell you about a story when I was a kid up in this exact meadow that's kind of behind me here. So we came up to this meadow on ATCs, which were three-wheelers back many years ago, and we got to the meadow behind us. And you got to keep in mind the ATCs we were on were like 90s or something like that, so they didn't have much power, big balloon tires, no suspension, any of that kind of stuff. And they were pull start, so they didn't go maybe 25-30 miles an hour. So we pull up to the meadow behind us over here. We look over up in the meadow, we see this really big cinnamon bear. And for those of you that don't know, a cinnamon bear is almost as big as a grizzly bear. And I remember the bear stop, turn around, and look at us like, what do you guys want to do? He looked at us like we're a bunch of hot dogs up here. So we're trying to start our bikes, we're pull starting, and needless to say, we didn't have our lunch up here. We went back down the trail a little bit and then ate our lunch and went home. All right, guys, there's my story of the meadow up here. Remember, get rolling. Thanks for joining us on this trail up to Sugarloaf Mountain today. We hope that we answered a few of the questions that you might have had about Sugarloaf Mountain, like some of the views. I believe we did answer those pretty well. Are they the best views in Big Bear? No, but you know, there are some that are pretty amazing, that is for sure. So remember, like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and remember to get rolling.